Um, you guys will notice that my voice still isn't at 100%, and I apologize. It wasn't because of screaming. Despite what you may think,
No.
last night I was very composed. It was a difficult day of football viewing, gambling, etc. I think I ended up even on the day. Um, a lot of stress. I mean, some of these games, there was games that we didn't even cover that I want to cover with you guys because these endings were absurd. Um, okay, I want to start with the ones that we thought were going to be the biggest games of the weekend. And for the record, they were pretty big. Arch Manning going down to the swamp. Um, I'm going to start out by saying that Texas actually looked better offensively than the last time I tuned in to see how they're doing beyond the highlights. I was able to catch this whole game. Um, and Arch actually looked good. I would say there was some drives where he was pretty calculated. His throws were good. He was a much better scrambler, than he was in week 1 against Ohio State. And this Florida defense is really good. They're still really good. So the way that he played, I would say I was expecting a little bit less from him. I was expecting more week 1 Arch. Um,
Yeah.
DJ Lagway, finally, dude. I mean, how many times have I put money on this guy and this guy refuses to show up? But yes, finally, thank you. DJ Lagway showed up, made some good decisions. There was one really bad throw in the fourth that was in double coverage and a cover 3, and it just looked really bad. That he tried to force, and he was like slightly hit during it too. Um, I don't know. Florida looked pretty good. The score line it ended as a 1 possession game, but
They dominated.
Billy Napier in true form completely crumbled with his fourth quarter play calling and clock
Yeah.
management. And we have already talked about this 100 times before about Billy Napier. It really felt like he wanted to lose. That ending. I mean,
Yeah.
they had a 2 possession, and it's not a 10-point game. This is a 15
No.
point game with less than 4 minutes to go, and the way they handled that clock at the end was absurd. They could have taken. This is something that won't make major headlines, I'm sure, because they won the game. Who cares? But there was a delay of game. Sorry, not a delay of game penalty, but there was a 10-second runoff opportunity for him in which he elected. At this point, Texas did not have any timeouts, and Billy Napier elected to use a timeout instead of a 10-second runoff. When you have a lead, I mean, it was just so absurd. Billy Napier really felt like he wanted to lose that game at the
Yeah.
end.
It
That
was an
being
interesting
said,
game.
the talent, Jaden Baugh. Jaden Baugh might, okay, I don't want to say he's the best. Ahmad Hardy, for me, the best SEC running back, no question, as of right now. But Jaden Baugh looked freaking good yesterday.
He looked really good. He was a lot of fun to watch. I was so happy Florida finally kind of like got the run game going. That was, in my opinion, what got them to win the game. DJ Lagway was able to get comfortable through that. Um, he looked better than Arch, like you were saying. Arch did play better than he has in previous weeks, especially in that Ohio State game. But it's still a lot of like of the same kind of sloppy play. Held on to the ball too long. He would scramble. I like it when he does scramble, but he just kind of would take a little bit too long to make that decision. Um, but yeah, like you were saying, I mean, Florida's a good team. I think this is a testament to them. I'm happy for
Hold on,
DJ
fourth
Lagway. He was
quarter.
able to.
Listen.
The
Fourth
fourth quarter
quarter.
was, yeah, it was sketchy.
He looked bad. Arch Manning looked bad in the fourth
Yeah,
quarter. If we
that
separate out
too.
the fourth, that being said, there was, what was weird? Who's that backup? The Texas backup that comes in
Yeah, he looked good.
and he hit that pass
Yeah, everybody was saying that on
to Ryan
yeah, on
Wingo.
the
Was it Ryan
socials.
Wingo who caught it and ended up running an extra like 10 yards? Then they got a
I
15-yard
think so.
penalty from a hands to the face on Florida defense. All of a sudden, you're in plus territory. Then Arch Manning, he had to sit out because his helmet comes off, comes back in the next play, and then just completely, the decision making is like, how much time do you want?
Yeah.
The pass rush has been on you the entire game. I mean, it's just like you said, even his run plays, his scrambling did feel like a half second to a second. He was like, oh, should I pass? Should I run? I don't know. He needs to be a better decision maker. That being said,
Yeah.
still look better than week 1. Texas was overrated. We knew this already. I mean, Arch Manning is not. Is
said
Arch
it.
Manning the quarterback that you thought he was going to be in preseason?
No.
Is he
Come on,
even
no,
remotely
I
close?
was,
Is he
no,
even
no,
remotely close to the
no.
expectations we set to him? No. So Texas is, it's looking like a 10-2 team, maybe even a 9-3 team at this point, and that's fine because who knows? Maybe Arch will stay another year. Um, I'm still not happy with how Billy Napier handled the game. I want to emphasize that. Had a better shot caller, had a better clock manager, had stepped into the role here, I feel like that game is not even close, and the score is not a one possession game at the end. So again, no knock to the Florida team. You guys killed it. I think talent won here. Jaden Ball low-key carried the game too. Again,
he killed it.
Yeah, but Billy Napier, wow, I would be really upset with him, especially at the end of the fourth there. Another heavy hitter, which also, I don't know, this kind of turned into a one-possession game at the end, but at no point did this feel like a one-possession win. Classic rivalry, Miami going down to Tallahassee to play Florida State. Yeah. I got fireworks that I wanted in the very first quarter of this game, and that was it. I got the fireworks I wanted. I saw Tommy Castellanos making some half-decent decisions, and then all of a sudden, there was one play, as soon as they get into plus territory, I want to say it was their third drive. At this point, you're down by 11. It's 14-3, and he throws the dumbest interception, and I immediately told myself, I said, uh-oh, they're getting the Tommy Castellanos experience. This is it. This is what you wanted.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Brandon?
Talk to me.
The Castellanos experiment, how's it going, in your opinion?
Well, what? They've lost 2 games. They lost against UVA and they lost against Miami. And both those opponents are legit.
Hey, UVA beating Louisville, by the way.
UVA did beat Louisville. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On the
so
road.
They're both
Pretty
legit
good.
Opponents, for
yes,
sure.
Of course.
I think Tommy Castellanos is one of those guys where he works with Gus Malzahn. I think he fits in that system. If it was another program, another offensive coordinator, would the experience be going differently? 100%. I think he's probably in the best case scenario for himself. I think that Florida State wishes he could be a little bit more of like a pocket passing QB, just a tad bit. But they use his skill set to the best of their ability. So he's won them some big games already that first week. And it's not like they got completely blown out in Miami. That Virginia game was close. So he's a good option at QB. Now, is he, the QB prototype that maybe you would want? I don't know. But does he work for Malzahn's system? 100%.
Okay. Yeah. I look at this game and I saw him make too many mistakes. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
I saw too many mistakes. Yeah. And they were always when they were in plus territory. So for me, it's like at the position of the most momentum is when you decide to take that momentum away from your own team. I didn't like that at all. I think Miami defense is legit. I think this is probably a national contending defense alone, a standalone. If you just look at that defensive unit, and Carson Beck is doing everything. He's doing everything right. That receiver, who's that true freshman receiver that I'm in love with? Malachi Toney. Who is this freak of nature?
He's so fast.
By far the most exciting player in the field. Every single play. Every single
game, every single Miami game, he's been the one that just
I get goosebumps watching this kid because he is a true freshman.
Yeah.
Only on his way up. Unbelievable. When you put the ball into this kid's hand, he is going to make it in the end zone. He was supposed to have 3 touchdowns. One of them got called back because of some bullshit, illegal motion. I understand it. It's a procedural error. It was not. I understand that, but Miami at no point was losing this game. I am so sorry. They were down 3. They were down by 17 with 5 minutes to go in the game. At no point did you have any chance of winning this game. I'm so sorry. You kind of got gifted with a few of those onside kicks and whatever. You had chances, but again,
they had chances.
Really, Miami controlled this game from start to finish. The fourth quarter, Florida State was able to do some offense, whatever, make it a one-possession game. Miami won here handily. That's my takeaway. I think Miami's a national contending team just based off that defense alone. The turnovers. Oh my God, they force so many turnovers. It is absurd. That fumble that they had in the second quarter as they're going into plus territory on a run play, it was a simple handoff. It just completely takes the crowd out. Completely. And the next play is that flea flicker. What are you going to do? I don't know.
Carson.
Carson Beck. He
looked good, man. He dropped some bombs, dropped some balls in the bucket. It was good.
Mario Cristobal takes his team, continues to be undefeated, continues to look dominant. I am excited for Miami. They're on a one-way ticket to the playoffs. Actually, low-key, and I'm sure you would agree with me, I see them going all the way. I could see them winning the national.
College football. They've been tested the most.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from Ohio State yet because I think what they've done is unbelievable. I mean, Ohio State, the fact that they've basically rebuilt that roster after losing so many, I just think this is a national contending team. Very, very excited to watch what happens.
Miami's legit.
Okay, I'm gonna go over Iowa State Cincinnati just a little bit, just because this game.
Do your thing.
This game was my blood was boiling during this game, because Cincinnati also did everything in their power to lose this game. Okay, Cincinnati had a 3-touchdown lead going into the half before some absolute disgusting shenanigans started happening. I want to say it was even closer to a 4-touchdown lead. We can fact check that later, but Cincinnati, I mean, they allowed, I want to say, 2 touchdowns right before the half to bring it to a 2-possession game. Then they basically, I mean, the Cincinnati defense what is happening? It's just very surprising to me that I had to sweat out that spread.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think of this game?
Cincinnati was taking it away in that first half.
Yeah. I mean, they took it away in the second.
Confused.
At the end of the second half too. Brendan Sorsby, killer.
Yeah.
But that defense,
great.
I mean, I feel bad a little bit because that defense, every game seems like a gamble for you guys.
Yeah, Rocco Becht got rocked that one play. That was crazy. But
came back
Cincinnati took it away.
Still came back in.
Finished the game.
Finished the game. It was a targeting call. So Cincinnati's biggest plays on defense, it just didn't seem like they could stop anything. Iowa State had a couple of stalled drives early in the game, and then Cincinnati takes the momentum. All of a sudden, Iowa State comes crashing back. It ended as a 2-possession win, I want to say. Maybe even a 1-possession. I don't know. It was
one possession.
Too many points to count in that game.
Yeah, it was a lot of points.
Too much going on. I forgot how much I stressed when I put money on Big 12 games, huh? Okay, I'm done. I'm done with that game. Let's move on. Vanderbilt at Alabama, which, in my opinion, which was the most exciting game of the weekend. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but my God, I really thought Vandy was going to pull away here.
It was a good game. There was some moments of, spookies. Vanderbilt definitely looked like you were saying, they were going to pull away.
Yeah.
The quarterback battle was a lot of fun to watch. Pavia versus Ty Simpson. They were both on top of their game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
There was I think 2 or 3 explosive runs by Vanderbilt in the first half.
Yeah.
And that's like, we're talking 30+ yards each.
One of them was Pavia, I believe.
Yeah. And then one was that running back who took it to the house to go up 7-0. Basically take the win. Yeah, you take the wind out of the environment there. I mean, the stadium definitely quieted up. There was a couple times where Pavia went into full Heisman mode, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to take the win here." He did talk a lot of shit leading up to the game.
He did.
I was hoping he would be able to back it up. That being said, I was riding on the side of Alabama. Alabama defense, I think they looked really bad. I'm not going to lie, especially against the rush in that first half. I think they were on pace for over 200 rushing come halftime. I think they were at over 100. I can correct myself later, but I think they held them to less than 10 yards in the second half rushing.
Yeah, the second half was a different story.
It was a completely different team. I mean, I don't know what happened. Defensive, the adjustments they made in the locker room, whatever it was. But good God, that defense came out lights out in the second. So many sacks, so many QB pressures. Special teams play kind of iffy. They still made a few mistakes on offense, Alabama, and they got away with a few. There was a fumble Ty Simpson had that was right. I'm talking you look at the camera. Anyway, they had a couple of calls go their way. I don't want to take anything away from Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt looked good still. I mean, I understand that they kind of slowed down that momentum in the second half. That first half rushing game was unreal. I mean, the amount of explosive plays. They just need to figure out they would get momentum and then they give it right back to Alabama. Something would happen that would significantly, Diego Pavia, for example, taking that drive all the way down to go up by 2 scores. No, I mean, this was early in the game. This is when it was his second or third drive. He's running down. They're already up by 7. Inside the 10, he fumbles the ball, and then Bama recovers it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and stuff like that would keep happening. The pick was bad, too, in the red zone. I remember that pick, too, in the second half.
They had a couple, man. If they just eliminated those turnovers,
So they had the momentum. They just got to, and they would give it right. I don't know.
Jam Miller looked really good too.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good. They're probably so happy to have him back. Hey, listen, let's not take anything. Can I just say something on the record? If Clark Lee and Diego Pavia came to Penn State, I would have been more happy this season. I'm not going to lie to you. I think what they're building at Vanderbilt right now is like something they can actually build a legacy from. They competed against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I know they lost by 2 touchdowns, and that was literally just because Kalen DeBoer started ego calling at the end, going forward on 4th and 2 with a rush play and allowing them to score. I don't know. Vanderbilt's building something real here. I think Vanderbilt's going to be a competitive team for years to come, even without Diego Pavia, just because that mentality, bro. They're walking with a chip on their shoulders. I still think Vandy's going to be a problem in the SEC this season. And they were competitive. Yeah. They were so competitive. What'd you take from this game?
We haven't seen the end of Vandy at all. They're going to keep on coming in their games and keeping them close and competing through it until the final whistle. Like I said, Jam Miller looked great. The Alabama offense got off to a slow start, but then they started picking up the pieces, started getting all their playmakers involved. Ryan Williams had a sick deep bomb that he caught. Jeremy Bernard was able to get on the board. Isaiah Horton, everybody, all the receivers were able to get involved in the game. Ty Simpson just looked great in that second half. He had a little bit of a slow start, but then once he started getting going, he was locked in. You could tell he was fired up a lot of that game. The Alabama offense definitely won them that game, and the Vanderbilt offense making those mistakes, like you were saying, just the sloppy play. If they just executed better, this would have been a crazy ball game for sure. And that's not a knock on Alabama. I think that's just, kudos to Vandy. They're, like you were saying, they're really close. They're, they're right there about to get over the hump and just compete year after year in the SEC. But Bama looked good. Both teams looked good.
I'm again very excited for both these programs. I think both of them are still contenders in the SEC, for the record. So we'll see how it plays out. Still early in the season. We're not even the halfway point.
Insane.
Another powerhouse matchup, at least we thought was going to be a powerhouse matchup. A&M did cover, so obviously it doesn't look as good. But Mississippi State just unable to produce anything, huh?
They just couldn't produce any offense.
Yeah. Really, like, they would get the run game going, and then all of a sudden they're stuck on a third down that they can't convert on. That fourth quarter sealed it for A&M also. I was rewatching the highlights because I don't remember it being. I remember it being a like winning in the trenches. Both teams trying to win in the trenches. I think Texas A&M defense did still look good this week. For the record, Blake Shapen is a great quarterback, and they basically held him to nothing. They did have like a late touchdown that was like technically a big play that they gave up. So obviously A&M, but still sound defense all around, and another big time contender in the SEC. I'm gonna bite my words a little bit because I said A&M's a little overrated, but no, Mike Elko also producing a team that's gonna be a contender. SEC all of a sudden, I don't know about you, but I think the power is starting to shift back to the SEC. Big Ten does not.
You think
look
so?
Good. Yeah, the Big Ten does not look good this year.
I think they're starting to get informed. Yeah. I think SEC teams. It takes them a little, even not just them specifically.
Mississippi State is still. I mean, they were fighting this game. The halftime score was close, and really Mississippi State just like we said, they couldn't sustain those drives. They couldn't show that they had the ability and talent to be able to run up and down the field against A&M on the road. And that's understandable. They're still a relatively new, this is first year, the head coach's first year. Give them time to develop. What did you see in the game? What were the big things you saw?
Like you were saying, the A&M defense just looked really good. I know they had a lot of losses just from players graduating, players going to the draft, but they still looked really good. They picked up a lot of the pieces in the portal, as we could see in this game. And the offense looked great, and they were able to get their playmakers involved. Mario Craver had a great game. Concepcion had a great game. Mississippi State's offense, they just couldn't get going. I saw Blake Shapen had 2 picks at the end of the first half, and the score at the end of the first half was 7-3. So it was a close game. up until the start of that second half, and that's when Texas A&M just kind of took it away.
They took it away. The fourth was a done deal. Done deal in the fourth.
The fourth, it was finito. But, yeah, Mississippi State just couldn't get going. I mean, their defense, they were doing a good job of holding them up in the first half, like I'm saying. But I feel like Texas A&M is one of those teams where once they find their groove, good luck.
I'm excited to see. I really don't know how this season plays out in the SEC. Some of these games that are coming up, even next week, Bama at Missouri. Anyway, we have crazy matchups to go over for next week. I want you to start on this game. Talk to me about Wisconsin at Michigan.
Wisconsin, Michigan. Wisconsin was coming into the big house with the third-string quarterback. And honestly, like, their offense did not look bad whatsoever. They were able to move down the field, especially in that first half. I definitely was getting worried in the beginning of the game and near the end of the game. And, yeah, Wisconsin looked legit. Their defense, I mean, they were a Big Ten team. They were a Big Ten defense. The offense, like I was saying, even though they had a third string in, they were still able to move down the field. And I think Michigan's defense looked kind of suspect in the beginning of that game. They started picking up the pieces in the midway point, and then near the end of the game looked suspect again. But obviously, I mean, what everybody was watching was Bryce Underwood and his play. I thought he looked really good. There was, I want to say, end of the first half, there was a drive where he had like 3 really nice throws where he was rolling out. He looks really comfortable in that offense. Justice Haynes, I think, is one of the best backs in the country, if not the best. Each week, his performances have just been nuts. It's been against tough teams.
He's definitely the best in the Big Ten.
The range is all over the place.
There's no question.
Best in the Big Ten, 100%. Yeah. But yeah, and then the wide receivers were able to get going too. Donovan McCulley and Andrew Marsh look like the clear go-to guys for the Michigan offense. Samaj Morgan is still a guy as well, but I mean, he keeps on dropping the ball, so hopefully he can fix that. But the Michigan offense is definitely starting to, they're starting to find their rhythm a bit. One thing that I would like to see from Bryce is him not like throw a bunch of heaters all the time. It seems like, when the pressure's coming on him, he doesn't have like the touch that I would like to see. But I understand that he's young, and that just comes with development and that sort of thing. But Michigan looked good, man. The offense looked better than I thought it was going to look, but the defense did look a bit messier than I would have hoped it did. But yeah, that's what my takeaway.
I watched this game the whole way through. I was very surprised with myself because, I mean, for one, I was writing Wisconsin spread, but this game kind of went exactly as I expected it to. Just to be perfectly honest. Michigan really, I don't know why they're trying so hard to force this identity of like, we're just going to destroy you in the trenches. And they challenged the number 2 rushing defense in the country in the trenches the entire way through. Going into the fourth, they were up by 3. Like, Michigan is up by 3 going into the fourth. And the only reason they pulled away was because of their ability to be able to, scramble with Bryce Underwood and get a lot of these crazy passes off, allow Bryce Underwood to play his version of the game, stop trying to force, the trenches. But I think Sharon Moore needs to step away from play calling entirely. I mean, you have 2 of the best play callers on both sides of the ball. Like, I think he should stick to big decision making in those games.
CEO style.
Yeah, I don't like that he's really trying to force these like in the trenches wins. At one point, you texted me after Zavada missed that field goal, and you were like, "Damn, there's a chance they lose this game." Because, I mean, and it's that feeling you got. It's that same feeling I got when I was watching.
It gets stagnant.
Yeah.
It gets stagnant.
It gets so stagnant. And it almost feels like Sharon Moore wants that. He wants the game to be low scoring and it's possession based and all that stuff. So, I mean, go for it.
He did say, and what's funny is at the beginning of that game, they asked him what they were going to do, if he was going to do anything differently. And he was like, yeah, we're definitely going to be more aggressive early and often. And I did see signs of that, but
not really.
I don't know. He wasn't that consistent with the aggressive. There was flashes where you were like, oh, this is different. Michigan usually doesn't do this. I believe they had like a flea flicker play.
I saw that, yeah.
Things of that nature. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We need some time.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Texas Tech at Houston. Another week. This team just looks terrifying. 552 yards of offense. Yeah. 552 yards of offense. Bro, I was watching this game. At no point was Houston in this game. I am so sorry. it almost felt like the refs were doing everything in their power to try to get Houston into the game. But I'm telling you, there was no chance for Houston to get anything going on offense. There was a couple of shenanigans, some turnovers, some bad calls, but really, like, especially once Connor Weigman went down and they brought in that backup, he did have that big strike. I think it was in the end of the first quarter, maybe early second quarter, to give him some points, to make the scoreline look a little bit more manageable going into the half. But, I mean, Texas Tech was bullying them on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
This Frankenstein team from the portal, I mean, maybe they're national championship contenders.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to win the Big 12.
They're going to win the Big 12.
Who's going to beat them in the Big 12? I don't know. I don't know.
No, nobody.
So I mean, BYU right now, I think, is probably going to end up being in the Big 12 championship. I mean, I don't know if BYU can stand up to this Texas Tech team. This is a different breed of a team. This is a plug-and-play system. This is a system that is designed, it almost looks like, to out-talent you. That's what they want to do. They want to win in the skill groups, and ultimately, that's what gets the explosive plays, because they'll run the one-on-one matchups, and they just know they're going to out-talent you. There was some plays I felt bad for Houston's cornerbacks. Like, I was watching them get out-muscled on some of the routes. Houston also...
Texas Tech.
Houston couldn't get anything going on offense. Nothing. No. So, again, I'm going to reiterate, I feel like this team is probably a national at the very, very minimum. It's a heavy favorite to win the Big 12. And I would say also a pretty decent contender for the national championship this year. They're going to be fun to watch in the playoffs. They're going to be very fun to watch.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, they look like an SEC team damn near. The defense is great. They have a lot of people coming back. And like you were saying, they added a bunch of really talented players in the portal. What I saw in this game was Houston just kind of kept shooting themselves in the foot early on. I think they had 2 turnovers early in the game, and both of them gave Texas Tech great field position. So from there, it was kind of it was a game of catch up. Texas Tech did slow down a bit at the start of the second half, but then they picked it up again as the game went on. They killed them. Texas Tech just absolutely obliterated them.
Yeah.
It was. And then did you know the defensive coordinator for Texas Tech used to be the defensive coordinator?
Yes, I remember reading that headline. I mean, 1 for 12 on third downs for Houston, right? I mean, if that's not indicative, I don't know what is. Texas Tech, I am terrified of that team. I'm terrified of that team. Now, that's this is also, this is the new era of college football. This is the route to take. You build a team based on, you spend all of your money to building the most elite. Did Indiana not do that last year? Are they not doing that again this year and still being dominant? I mean, Penn State is going to lose to Indiana.
Is it that time?
It's that time.
All right, I'm just going to mute my mic.
No, there's no need. Listen, I want to just talk, let's talk a big picture about Penn State for a little bit. What went wrong for Penn State in this game? I'm going to just hone in on this game specifically for just a couple of minutes. Obviously, the play calling on offense, I still think was not adequate. A lot of their points were basically off of takeaways, special teams play. Penn State did everything in their power. The players did everything in their power to win this game. There was a lot of miscues on offense that almost felt like maybe this is more indicative of how the players are being managed. Penn State started with the ball in the second half. And I don't know if you remember, but the very first possession, they ended up getting a fumble. They fumbled the ball away, gave it to UCLA. I mean, there was times where it felt like momentum might be stolen. But this game specifically, they couldn't contain Nico Iamaleava. And that is, saying that and having that come out of my mouth, 0-4, Nico Iamaleava, that was embarrassed by the University of New Mexico when they came to visit week 2. I think that I was under the misguidance that this team was above average. And I think that we are all starting to learn about how the team, it might even be below average right now. And I'm not saying that talent-wise at all. I'm just saying the front office right now at Penn State is doing a massive disservice to this team. I felt bad. You sent me that video of Drew Aller in the post. He is fuming. He hates himself right now, of course. He's angry at himself. I don't want to say he hates himself, but he's angry at himself for not being able to. The fourth down call was what? It really felt like at some points UCLA wanted to spoon feed the win to Penn State, and Penn State still couldn't grab it and take it. The fourth down play call, which shouldn't have even have been an opportunity for Penn State because they decided to run it on 4th and 2 on their own 35. I'm talking about UCLA. They give the ball to Penn State, and Penn State gets down inside the 10 on a 4th and 2 and decides to play a read sweep option. I didn't mind the play call. It was a bad read. Both the running back was going to be tackled up anyway. Maybe he had a chance to beat the one-on-one. But it was not the right play call, and it was not the right read. So that's what happened with this game specifically. As a program, let's take a step back. What happens next? First of all, huge shout out to UCLA. There was so much background to that offensive play caller. I didn't know about that. Apparently, his dad is a big-time legend in the college football world. I had no idea. I'm ignorant myself, so I apologize to the UCLA community. I will go educate myself. But they look great. 10 for 16 on third downs. This defense held well against. Who have they held well against? Who has Penn State beaten? You know what? I'm still excited for this season. I think Penn State. Here's what I'm going to say. I think right now Penn State is going to have the nothing to lose attitude.
Mentality.
And, and for once in their lives, maybe they'll just play for fun. And not play because they feel the need that they need to win. James Franklin, I have said this time and time again, we're not going to win a national championship with him. And it's unfortunate. But right now, Penn State is more addicted to mediocrity as a franchise than they are to actually achieving greatness. And that shows because they've signed James Franklin for years and years, and they will continue to. And everybody in the country and everybody in the Big Ten is praying that the Penn State athletic department will continue to pay out James Franklin for the rest of his life because they know that means that they'll never have national title contention. It doesn't matter what you think. The question that was asked of Drew Aller, real quick, just want to touch on Drew Aller. You'll never hear this from me. I understand that. I'm a nobody on YouTube right now. Oh, please go follow us, by the way. 2 Fans, 1 Pod. We're on almost all socials. This one's for you, Drew Aller. I'm so sorry that this program let you down. You're obviously a kid with talent, and you have drive, and you have grit. I've seen it before, and I know you have it. I'm just, I'm so sorry that Penn State let you down, buddy. I think you deserved a lot better than what this program did to you and for you for the past 3 years. So go have fun. Go enjoy the rest of your season. Penn State fans also, maybe we'll go to the playoffs. We'll pull off some crazy upsets, maybe.
You never know, man.
But
you never know.
It's looking like one of those seasons of mediocrity again. So the regression has begun. I don't know. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think happened?
Yeah, no. Sometimes, I think this is one of those things. And I texted you right when that happened. I was like, this could be a good thing. I think a lot of people were starting to get to that point with, the fans of the program were starting to get to the point where they're like, all right, yeah, we have this great team on paper. Everything looks great. But what, are we going to lose again, like the first round of the playoffs? Or are we going to, we have an SMU W to hang our hat on over the past X amount of years. But, what else do we have besides that? And you could feel the fan base getting loud. You definitely could hear the pressure and the noise start to settle in. It's tough because, Penn State, they really had their whole team coming back from last year. The only thing that they lost was Tyler Warren, which I know is, a big loss.
But still, defensively, Denai Dennis Sutton is still a beast. Zane Duran is still a beast. They still have studs on that D line. So
they still have a lot of studs. It's still linebacker U.
Tony Rojas going down was a bummer, but I don't want to pinpoint this. Like, you're not
No, this
allowing
loss isn't
42
pinpointed
points
on that.
because of
No.
freaking Tony Rojas going down. I'm sorry. You
No.
still have studs on the secondary. And, I mean, UCLA played the screen game. They played the screen, the same exact game plan that Oregon had. They ran it to a T. And they just did QB scrambles in case, anytime they said nothing's open, go sprint down the field. And he would get chunks. Anyway, go ahead, please. Sorry.
No, I mean, no. You pretty much summarized the whole thing. It's definitely one of those, seasons where I think Penn State has to reflect. It's not over, though. If you can get, just play, like you're saying, play with that fun attitude. What else do you have to lose?
Yeah, we have
May as well
nothing to
finish the
lose.
season strong. But definitely going to be some reflection at the end of the season. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Who knows? Maybe Franklin's gone. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see how he does the rest of the season.
They would have to pay him a lot. I'm pretty sure he's paid out through 2030. I have to go double check that.
It's something like that.
Bummer for Penn State. God, last night was rough watching that.
Crazy games.
Go over Washington UMD for me real quick, because I have not had a chance to watch it.
Oh, that game, man. Malik Washington looked great. The whole team looked great. Maryland was killing it early in the game. I want to say the score, start of the second half, midway through the third, was 20-0. And it was one of those things where they were just, they were on top. Defensively, they were on top of it, forcing a lot of 3-and-outs. The reads were just on cue. Malik Washington looked great. The offense was making all the right the play calling was great. But then it looked like Washington just kind of caught its stride. And they put up 24 unanswered.
That's what I've heard about Washington. That's all I've heard about Washington is that once they get going, that QB, what's his name again? Damon Williams. I mean, I watch highlights of him, and he is so fun to watch. I wish we had a QB like that. Honestly, like he's part of that caliber of quarterback that I think next year we'll be talking a lot about as well. Especially come preseason hype, because all they need is a couple of years of experience, and then all of a sudden they turn into these crazy athletes. That's a bummer for Maryland. That's a bummer.
It's a bummer. That one was.
We're
a tough
still
one.
planning on going to the Maryland Michigan game, right?
We're still going to Maryland Michigan.
I gotta look up those tickets. Was it November?
End of November. Yes.
End of November. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
100% we go to that. Minnesota at Ohio State. We'll go over this one real quick. Minnesota, great. They've done a lot as a program over the past few years. So the 42-3 loss on the road at the Shoe, I don't think is as bad. They kept the game close until it wasn't. Once Ohio State started opening the field up, it felt like the secondary could not stop the elite, absolutely elite wide receiver room that they have this year, which you could even make the argument is just as good as their wide receiver room was last year. Ohio State, what I love about this team is that every single game, they show me why I need to be more scared of this team and why I need to believe that they are truly a national championship contending team. I don't know. What did you see this game?
They look great. The Minnesota is one of those offenses that really hasn't been able to get going all year. But their defense is one of the best in the country. And Ohio State, they took a little minute to get going, but once they did get going, it was balls to the walls.
Just
they looked
Jeremiah
good. Jeremiah
Smith,
Smith was
Cornell
activated.
Tate.
He was locked in. The whole team was clicking. Bo Jackson was getting some wrist runs in. They looked insane. That team looked really good
on both sides.
On both sides of the ball. Ohio State and Miami are the two favorites. For sure. Those are the two guys.
I love them. I love them both. I would love to see them play against each other. It might not happen until the very last game, depending on how some of these things play out. I don't know. Crazy week of college football, actually.
It was nuts. TCU Colorado was nutty. That game.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that game was crazy. Colorado's offense, neither offense really could. It was weird. They would both kind of answer each other, and then it would slow down. End of the first half, they definitely started to click. It was it was 14-14 at the end of the first half. And then as the game progressed, TCU's quarterback looks really good. Kadon Salter, he's more of a kind of a runner than a thrower for sure.
What's his name?
And I
Josh
think that-
Hoover, the quarterback.
It's either Josh Hoover or Max Hoover.
Max Hoover. It
apologize
might
if
be
I'm
Max
getting
Hoover.
facts first name.
No, he is
name.
good. I mean,
Yeah,
they have
he
a
looked
good
really good,
wide
dude.
receiver core, by the way. They have a really
do.
good wide receiver core.
But like he was reading the defense. He was making adjustments. The audibles looked great. Whenever he noticed there was a man coverage, he was really good at making the adjustment to get his receiver one-on-one and throw him a jump ball. He did that at the end of the game with an unnecessary touchdown that hit the over for me. God bless. But he also did that earlier on in the game. It was a good game. TCU's offense looked good. They rebounded off of that last week, after last week's loss. But yeah, it was a good game. That was a fun one to watch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any other big games? Any other big highlights?
Big highlights, big games.
But we covered
Baylor.
everything.
I know Baylor pulled off a close one.
Oh wow, that was a crazy game.
Yeah, I wasn't able to catch that one. Oh, Kansas UCF. That one was a close one as well. Kansas was able to seal the deal, I believe. Duke Cal was fun. Darian Mensah, he had a game. Darian Mensah had a game. Cal's defense is suspect. In the beginning of the game, Cal's offense looked good and their quarterback looked good. I don't want to pronounce his name because I'm going to completely butcher it. Jaron Q Sagapatolia.
Holy, really good job. I actually have no idea.
That wasn't awful, actually.
I don't know. We'll fact check it later.
We'll fact check it.
But yeah,
that
Darian
was a fun
Mensah
game.
he just
Mensah
has
looked great.
games. That's all he does.
He looked great.
That's all he
looked
does.
Really good. He was fired up. That Duke offense looked good, and they had a lot of injuries on the defensive side, so it's good to see that they, were still able to kind of pull off that dub. Yeah, Illinois pulled it off
Handily. Really, it felt like
there were some good games.
there was some fun. There were some exciting games to watch, actually, especially in the noon window. Surprisingly,
yeah. Virginia Louisville went to OT. Virginia
and Kate
pulled
Klubnik absolutely destroying UNC.
Yeah.
They needed to get back on track. Yeah. It was time.
They needed something. Yeah.
All right, guys, that wraps it up. Week 6 in the books. Hell of a Sunday after, actually.
What a Sunday after.
We got NFL to go watch. I got things to do. Okay. Tune in for the Week 7 previews.
Yeah.
We need to go over best running backs in the league. I feel like this conversation today got me thinking best running backs, best QBs.
The mid-year review.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Just to see how it turns out by the end of the season. But a lot of fun games coming up next week, guys. We have a lot more previews, so tune in. That's going to be either Thursday or Friday release of this week. Happy spooky season, by the way. For all of you Halloween enjoyers out there.
Spooktober.
Let us know if you guys decorate. How about that? Let us know if you guys decorate your house. I got shamed the other day. I got a few decorations up. I mean, not behind me. Maybe I'll spruce it up a little bit for Halloween. Who knows?
Oh,
that'd be
for
fun.
The pod. Let's go.
All right, love you guys. Until next time. Peace out.
Until next time.